How many times have you been working on a particular UI design screen and you want to use a technique a designer you liked used on Screenlane or Dribble, but you can't find that particular screen, so you browse and waste your time? That is exactly why you need a second brain for your UI designs. This situation happened to me a lot of times and I didn't know how to solve it till I stumbled upon Eric Kennedy's 37 different types of UI design techniques you can use to spice up your designs, and then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could just store these techniques where I would use them, so I wouldn't need to come to this post again and again? That is when I began my design bank. It's a single page on Figma where I designed the UI design techniques I like from other designers, and it did save me a lot of time. I am going to be sharing with you the 3 tips I actually am using right now to actually make this process even faster. First tip I have for you is do not use Dribble or Behance. While these platforms have great UI designs, most of the projects that other designers post are not real-world projects, so they do not have real-world constraints. So while a particular design might look cool, it might actually be very unusable for most users. For example, this is a direct mobile app design I took from Dribble. While these gradients look very cool, they actually make the text inside unreadable. So a beginner designer might just copy this and use it, but the end result will not be good for the user. That is why I recommend sources like Screenlane, where professional designers actually share professional projects like popular web applications that have thousands of users, or popular mobile apps like Uber or let's say Instacart. Now, while picking great UI design techniques from these sources is great, where will you store them? Should you use Google Drive, OneNote, Notion? What should you do? Now, one tip I received from Tiago Forte when you are actually trying to organize your information is to make sure it is as close to the source of the place where you are going to use that particular information. So for us, it is probably the design tool that we most often use. For me, it is Figma because that is the tool I use in my professional life and also when I'm practicing design on my own. But for you, it might be Sketch or Adobe XD. Now, storing this information only in Figma is not enough because as we will store more techniques, it will be harder to browse them. So we should actually begin categorizing them by these following 7 categories. So far, I've been following Eric Kennedy's post and I have copied the 2 of the groups that he mentioned that are background and other, but in my own I am also trying to create groups for color and illustration and images as well. Yet even if I categorize all these techniques as I outlined before, I realize that depending on the device type, certain techniques work or don't work. For example, for large headings it might work great for a website to get the user's attention, but do we really want to get the user's attention in that way when we are working on a mobile screen where the real estate is very important because it's very small? So going forward, I have a plan on using hashtags so I can actually search on the techniques which are very usable on mobile or desktop or web. While building your second brain for UI design is great so that you can understand the techniques, if you want to learn how to practice them as well so you can become a better UX designer as fast as possible, watch this video next.